The culture editor of America Magazine, and I'm here to talk about our editorial this week, which is on gratitude, very appropriate during Thanksgiving. Gratitude is actually a hot topic in both the secular and the religious spheres these days. In the secular world, you might be surprised to know that the topic of savoring is very popular in psychological circles, and the idea is that rather on focusing on more negative emotions, which is certainly appropriate, there's an emphasis on more positive emotions like savoring and really being grateful for what you have. Now, this concept would have not surprised St. Ignatius Loyola, who in his spiritual exercises talked about savoring or relishing great experiences in prayer. In the spiritual world, there's been a lot of interest in gratitude as well. One of my favorite books is by Mary Jo Leddy, and it's called Radical Gratitude, and she talks about moving past sort of what Madison Avenue wants us to do, which is to always be dissatisfied with where we are, and being grateful for what we have. An even more recent book that just came out by Charles Shelton, who's a Jesuit psychologist who teaches at Regis University in Denver, is called The Gratitude Factor, and he lists all the ways that gratitude can help. Can help your sort of emotional life, can help the community, can help the church, just help you to be a healthier person. Now, both the secular and the religious spheres, I think, are understanding something important about gratitude. Now, these days, it can seem that there's very little to be grateful about. In our editorial, we point to some things that we can all be grateful for in the United States and across the world. But it's a really important way to, gratitude that is, to ground yourself in the examination of conscience that St. Ignatius recommends, which is a kind of review of your day. Ignatius has you start with gratitude. And the reason is that most of us, when we think about our lives and we think about, for example, the last day, we may have a tendency to focus on the negative things, the kind of problem-solving things. You know, that's the way our minds work. You know, we're sort of trained to look for the problem. Someone told me once that comes from our primitive minds. You know, we're sort of always looking on the lookout for danger. But the problem is that can move us away from gratitude and move us away from the things that God has given us. And in that way, we become ungrateful, basically. So Thanksgiving is a really important time of year to be thankful, and I think it's an important spiritual discipline as well. Now, for many people, the things that they're most thankful for may be the most personal things. Their deep friendships, their family members, their children, their grandchildren, their relationship with God, you know, perhaps the most incommunicable and most personal thing, you know, for which we are grateful. And for me, when I think about gratitude, I also think about something that's not exactly appropriate to the season, but really it is something that transcends all seasons, which is that Christ is risen. I think that the resurrection, the idea that Christ is risen, Christ is alive, death has been defeated, love is stronger than hatred, life is stronger than death, hope is stronger than despair, is always something for which to be grateful. So this notion of savoring and relishing, I think, is very important during Thanksgiving and really any time of year. So for Christians who are savoring turkey and relishing the cranberry sauce, maybe your favorite home recipe, I think it's also important to savor and relish those things in life for which we are most grateful, and to really ground ourselves in gratitude as the beginning of our spiritual lives. So for everyone here, the editors and staff at America Magazine here in New York City, we wish you happy Thanksgiving and wish you a spiritual life filled with gratitude for the gifts that God has given you.